Our favorite things for RV comfort, RV necessities, camping safety, stocking stuffers for the RVer, uplifting your new year in the RV, and must-have items for the RV in the winter. All of that and much more on this week's special Christmas episode of the SOWLE RV Podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the SOWLE RV Podcast. I am Mark.
And I am Angie with SOWLE RV. We want to welcome you to our very first Christmas special on the SOWLE RV Podcast. Today, we're going to share a few of our favorite things for an RV with you all and some important items to consider when RV camping in the winter. A link to every product we discuss today is listed in our episode description of this podcast, as well as in our show notes on our blog at SOWLERV.com under podcast. We have a lot to cover today, so let's kick things off by discussing our favorite things for comfort while RVing. First on our list today is the Best Choice rocking chair and a set of 2 gravity reclining chairs. All of them are foldable, zero gravity, mesh material, so they are waterproof and wipe off when it rains. And they also have a headrest pillow, and the rocking chair comes in 7 colors. The recliners come in 12 different colors to choose from. Those are some of our favorite chairs and rocking chairs. I have to have a rocking chair when we're out camping.
Yep. My barbecue grill is a Weber Q1200 series grill. I have the iGrill Mini that will tell you the temperature of your meats or whatever you're cooking. Works excellent if it's something that you're trying a new recipe or you're wanting to know what the temperature of something is before you take it off the grill to make sure it's cooked appropriately. Works awesome. It also has a portable stand. Ours happens to be green. We like the color. It comes in a variety of them, but the Q series is perfect for camping.
Mm-hmm. Next on our list are baking sheets. These are stainless steel baking sheets just small enough to fit in an RV oven, yet large enough to make mini cookies and pizza.
Pizzas are one of my favorite while out camping. I never would have thought that, but it is good to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Next on the list, dishwasher. This is an amenity that some don't need at all. You can absolutely wash all your dishes by hand. We decide not to. Angie's hands, she's always having to take care of Aiden and do things, so we really don't want to have to do dishes in the camper all the time.
Who wants to do dishes anyway?
Yeah, nobody.
We don't have one, though, in the motorhome. That is just the travel trailer.
Yep, and we have the Faberware Complete Portable. It saves time, energy. We don't have to argue about who's doing dishes at the time. We end up taking more dishes with us because we can put them in the dishwasher and store them until we wash them. So you don't need to just have 4 or 5 dishes. You can take the whole set with you. And it's just a nice amenity to have while out camping.
Right.
Next on the list is the Easy Up Canopy. These add additional space to your campsite to keep it dry. You can put them over your bench to eat at. You can get sides for it. Sets up quick, easy, always a go-to for extra storage if you need to keep things dry. Everybody doesn't want to always have to sit underneath the awning while you're outside, so it gives you a nice little area to sit and talk and have friends over.
It gives you a little bit of privacy as well.
It does, especially if you put on the solid sides instead of the breathable cloth sides.
Right.
Next on the list is the Solar Battery Maintainer Charger. This is a great tool to keep your batteries charged in the off season, while you have it in storage, while it's in your driveway at home. Works great. All you have to do is put 2 easy clamp connectors on the battery itself. This can hang on carabiners. You can have suction cups on it, stick it to the camper windows. However you want to mount it, really easy to do. Keeps your battery fresh and maintained while not in use. Or if it's a slow trickle charge, you can go ahead and keep it on there while in use, but it's not going to charge a battery that's being drained quickly. But really good maintainer, and it on our motorhome I had it on there, and 3 months we hadn't touched it, walked out to it and fired right up. Worked excellent.
Definitely. Last on this list is the Apple Lightning to Digital AV Adapter, SOWLE RV's #1 recommendation and sold item. You use this Lightning to Digital adapter to mirror whatever is on your iPad or iPhone to your RV TV. We have full instructions on how this works on our blog, and we will include a link to those instructions on the podcast episode description as well.
It is time for TNT. When planning your RV camping trip for winter camping or a Christmas journey, make sure you plan ahead. Ask the campgrounds if they have water turned on, or the facility you're going to be staying at, if they have frost-free hydrants, and make sure that you actually have heated tanks for in the wintertime if you're going to go out and stay. That way you don't have any issues come springtime if things freeze up on you.
Right, we'll be talking about those later for sure.
It is time for some important things for the RV necessities. First off, Camco durable all-purpose RV disposable sanitation gloves. These keep your hands clean. You have a pair of gloves for anything you need while they're working on the trailer, or when you have to go and dump. That's the main purpose for them, but they are all around a good thing to have on hand for sure.
Absolutely, especially during this pandemic.
Yes. Second thing on the list is Scott Rapid Dissolving Toilet Paper. You can definitely choose your own brand, whatever you like. We, however, have found that this works really well. Haven't had any issues with our camper since going with it. Next on the list is the Camco RhinoFlex 20-foot sewer hose kit. It's been a great product for us. It's easy to store. One of the big parts for me is it has a transparent elbow, so you always know when the tanks are clean and done draining. With the sewer hose, you will need support. We use the Camco 20-foot Sidewinder hose support. This keeps the direction of flow so it won't pool up in the hose and keeps it flowing out when you pull your valves. Great item to go with it. Next is the tote in store. This is the necessity if you're going to do any kind of dry camping or while you are at a campground without sewers. This will allow you to take it to the dump station and get rid of your waste if it fills up. Camco Taste Pure Water Filter with flexible hose protector. Protects against bacteria, reduces the bad tasting water and odors. These last for about 3 months. Great for campgrounds. All water is not the same, that is for sure.
No.
The Camco brass water pressure regulator with a gauge. This allows you to check the water pressure coming into your camper. A lot of the times you're going to see that it is too low, but there are times when you may actually run into an issue of it being too high. Having this on there will protect your RV from blowing your water lines out or having future issues. And now it's time for SOWLE Facts and Current Events. This week's SOWLE Fact is about the most popular destinations for RV travelers in the winter. The top 6 destinations for RV camping in the winter months, according to Campgrounds of America, also KOA, are divided into the northern and southern destinations. The first 3 are in the northern part of the United States. The latter 3 are in the southern U.S. locations. The first of the northern areas is Mount Baker Snoqualmie National Forest and is one of the most visited forests in the entire country. Next is Bend, Oregon, a small town of 90,000 people. Third is Montrose, Colorado, in the Telluride area. It has some of the most tallest peaks in the state. Moving on to the southern areas, first is Joshua Tree National Park in California. It is the most photographed park in the United States. Next is Hot Springs National Park in Hot Springs, Arkansas. It is the smallest national park in America. Finally, at number 6 on the list is the Grand Canyon National Park in Grand Canyon, Arizona, where there are over 5 million visitors every year.
Wow. This week's SOWLE current event is many RV dealers already have their RV shows booked for 2021. Most of those shows are held in January through March. However, with the pandemic still occurring, unfortunately, many of those shows are being postponed or even canceled altogether. In Kansas and the Kansas City surrounding area, Mid-America RV Show that was to take place January 14th through the 17th in 2021 at the Kansas City Convention Center at Bartle Hall has been postponed, unfortunately, until 2022. The annual Wichita RV Show in Valley Center, Kansas is still to be determined, as well as the Greater Kansas City RV Show in Wichita, Kansas. The Overland Park RV and Outdoor Show in Overland Park, Kansas is currently scheduled for February 19th through the 21st of 2021 at the Overland Park Convention Center. We'll see if that one continues. Topeka RV and Camping Show is scheduled for February 26th through the 28th of 2021 at the Kansas Expo Center. Wichita Sports Show in Wichita, Kansas. The date is still to be determined, so we'll see if that one hangs on or not.
Hopefully we get some kind of outdoor camping shows in this year.
Right.
Hopefully they're not all virtual, but that's what it is. That's what it is. Favorite things for RV camping and safety. First on the list is an indoor-outdoor step stool. We have
Good
the
for short people.
Great for short people. Cupboards and cabinets in your RVs aren't made for short people. They're not generally all too deep, but they do pose a problem for height
Challenged
people. That's probably the best way
Right.
of saying it. We have the Artist Hand Platform. It's 15 by 10 inches on a platform top, has rubber feet so you won't damage the floors. Gets you access. It's only 9 inches tall, but it gets you up high enough to get some of those things out of the cabinets. You may want to get a step stool to go higher with something if
And it's
your needs
really
may be.
helpful for those who have the fifth wheels, because fifth wheels, some of those cabinets are really, really tall. There's no way even you could reach those.
Correct. Next on the list is detectors, whether it be a carbon monoxide detector, smoke detector, propane detector. Kid Products makes all of these for your RV. Great to have along with you. 3 on the list is a fire extinguisher. Your camper should have came with a fire extinguisher that you should be testing annually. Replace them as necessary. We also get an additional one that we keep in our kitchen for grease fires and so forth.
Right.
Speaking of fires, unfortunately, some people may need an escape ladder at some point in time. If you're in your camper, it will have a safety window that you can climb out of on most new models. A ladder will help you get down so you don't, so you can avoid a small fall, get things out and hand it out. Next on the list is the emergency roadside kit or flares. We get the TobeFit 3-pack emergency strobes. We don't have any fire with this. It's just a strobe, battery operated. If you have a breakdown, it'll flash, tell people what's going on, slow down, and avoid you from getting in an incident with somebody else, hopefully.
Absolutely.
6 on the list is a toolkit or toolbox. You'll need to decide what you need for these. I would personally say anything on your camper that has a bolt to screw, you'll want to have this included in the kit. If you know that you are hands off, make sure that you have roadside assistance that will help you with that RV in a breakdown. 7 on the list, air pump. One thing that you can almost count on is having an issue with a tire, whether you're at a campground, on the road. I like the little Bostitch 6-gallon pancake air compressor. You can fill this up before you leave so you have some air pressure on board. If you do not have a generator on your rig, a 110 pump is not going to work. You're going to need a little 12-volt cigarette lighter plug. These are going to take quite some time to air up a tire, but in a pinch, they come in very handy and necessary. And now, it is time for Life and Soul of the Party.
We wanted to make sure we gave you the answer to the questions we asked in our previous episode, which was, what is the typical wait time for an RV to be repaired at an RV dealership in 2020? The answer is 6 weeks. We won't dwell on that fact too much because we know that that is a frustrating issue in the RV community, and our Christmas special isn't the time for that, but we will get to it soon. Instead, we're going to move on to our favorite things for stocking stuffers for the RVer. First on our list for the stocking stuffers for the RVer is the Kitchen Spice Rack Organizer. It has 4 strips and holds 20 spices. You can attach it to the interior part of your kitchen cabinet or cut it down in size and keep spices together in a drawer. The second on our list is the 5-piece Kitchen Gadget Space Saving Tools. It has a cheese or chocolate grater, garlic or ginger grinder, a pizza cutter, a bottle opener, and a fruit or vegetable peeler all in one. It is also dishwasher safe.
Next on the list is a Camco T-level for leveling your RV. Tells you whether you're going to be stable enough on flat ground. The digital tire pressure gauge, as well as a Camco RV vent insulator and skylight cover with reflective surface. This helps block out the natural light from outside in those skylights. These are really good in the fall when you're running your heater a lot. Helps with the condensation and keeping all that heat inside the camper.
Right, definitely. And last on our list is the two-piece handheld groove cap cleaning tool. This is a two-piece tool that helps to clean your shower track, the window track, or clean all around in that kitchen. The SOWLE goal. The SOWLE goal is where we discuss how to make your travel goals and where to go, including stories of our own travels. This week we're going to share a little more about our first Christmas journey that we told you about on our first episode. Today we're not going to tell you about all the crazy stuff that happened on that trip. Instead, we want to tell you about how we decorated our motorhome for our Christmas journey. This was the first time we would have a Christmas tree in the RV, and we wanted to make sure it was very special for Aiden. We are big on themes, so we let him choose a theme this tree. Aiden chose the s'more snowman decor theme. At first, we were a little bit concerned that we wouldn't be able to find anything Christmas, snowman, and s'mores combined, but we searched on Amazon, and like everything else, they surely had it. But first, we needed a Christmas tree.
So when selecting a Christmas tree for your RV, there are a few things you must consider. You need to measure the space that you plan to use for your tree so you can purchase the correct size. You must also make sure there is an electrical outlet close by if you plan to use lights on your tree. We would suggest using little battery operated lights. Works a lot easier so you don't have to have an outlet nearby. And finally, you'll need to think about storing it. If you have a sticks and bricks home, you can easily store it there. If you live full-time in your RV, you will need to think about where you're going to store it. We ended up purchasing a 4-inch pencil tree for our motorhome and planned to take a much smaller white Christmas tree along with us and put it in the front window of the motorhome once we arrived at the RV resort.
Then came time to pick out the ornaments. We found the most adorable s'more snowman ornaments. Aiden chose one with a cardinal because he loves bird watching. I chose one with a coffee mug because I love coffee. And Mark chose one with a guitar since he likes to play in his spare time.
Which I no longer have any of.
Which you no longer have. And we picked out one with a puppy dog for all of our chihuahuas. I love angels, and I have an angel tree at home that is packed with all kinds of beautiful angels. Well, my mom added many angels to that tree every year, and this year she really outdid herself by purchasing an angel s'more snowman. Yes, they really do make them. Just for additional Christmas decor with Aiden's theme, we decided we needed to have a nativity scene along with us. Yes, they had that in the s'mores snowman theme too, and you can see those behind us in this tree.
Once we had gotten to the RV resort where we were staying during our Christmas journey, we figured out that the 4-foot tree was just too big for our space. Thankfully, we brought along our little white tabletop tree that we originally planned on putting in the front of the motorhome because that became our main tree instead of the larger one. Those are Christmas memories we will cherish forever for sure.
My top 5 recommended devotionals and stories. I actually have 10, but that would take forever telling you about why I like them so much. So I've agreed to share my top 5 with you today. The first one is the Daily Guidepost 2021, a spirit-lifting daily devotional book by 50 different writers, and the 2021 version focuses on faithful in prayer time theme. Mornings with Jesus 2021 is second on our list. It is a daily encouragement for your soul by 12 writers and focuses on scripture verse, a reflection on Jesus' word, and a faith step that inspires and challenges. Number 3 on our list is the Dayspring Flip calendar called Grace for the Moment by Max Lucado. It is a daily calendar for your desk that allows you to start each day with a powerful grace-themed inspiration. Number 4 on our list is The Power of a Praying Parent by Stormy Martin. This is my absolute favorite book ever besides the Bible itself. There have been over 28 million copies sold. There are wonderful prayers for parents to pray over their children for many topics, including safety, character development, adolescence, peer pressure, school experiences, friends, relationship with God, and my biggest prayer request, good health. And we can all use those prayers this year.
Yes, we can.
Yes, the Upper Room Daily Devotional. This is number 5 on my list. This is a family favorite. My mom gets this subscription for us every year. It contains stories that go along with scripture and a prayer as well. It comes in digital form now as well as print. You can learn more about all of these on our SOWLE RV blog. Just search for Devotionals. Food for the Soul. On this week's segment of Food for the Soul, we have a super yummy recipe for a cake while RV camping or at home. It is a recipe for spice cake, my favorite kind of cake. Mark made this for my grandmother's 90th birthday just a few months ago. We are going to add the recipe to this episode description as well as on the SOWLE RV blog show notes for this episode. Included in that recipe will be my favorite maple icing that I think is an absolute must for this spice cake. It really is perfect for the holidays.
The 5 must-haves for RV camping in the winter. Number 1, a heated water hose. If you are going to be at a campground that has frost-free hydrants, you will need a heated water hose to prevent it from freezing up and going into the lines of your camper. Second on the list, holding tank heater pads. These holding tank heater pads are amazing. They're super easy to install, work great. What we love about the product is that they have a built-in thermostat to turn itself off and on when freezing temperatures arrive.
That was one of my biggest concerns, is if it actually did that. I didn't want it, running when it was warm enough outside. It concerned me that it would
Drain the battery down and
yeah.
be an issue.
Right.
No, they work great. Third on the list is an electric fireplace or space heater. A lot of your newer campers have a space heater already in the camper.
Or a fireplace.
Number 4 on the list, the insulated vent covers. These vent covers are a must-have for summer and winter use. They help keep your RV cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter, so all of that cold or hot air do not escape through that little thin barrier at the roof.
Right.
Through that.
Right. And that was definitely on our necessities list too. We did list that twice just because they are that good.
Yes, they are. Dehumidifiers. We personally must be very careful with the use of dehumidifiers in our family. Our son Aiden has a trach and needs extra humidification around the year. A dehumidifier is a necessity for us. We found that using a couple of these works very well. Plus, they are much less expensive, win-win for us. Additionally, they're renewable, no mess, easy to use, pet and child safe, and best of all, silent operation.
Yeah.
That is it for the Christmas and winter special episode of the SOWLE RV podcast. Coming up on next week's SOWLE RV podcast is our episode on RV camping safety.
From our family to yours, we wish you a very Merry Christmas and a safe and happy, healthy New Year. Thanks so much for joining us today. As always, SOWLE RV encourages you to safely get out and live and explore the world around you. If you'd like to check out our show notes from today's episode, just go over to SOWLERV.com, click underneath podcast, and make sure you follow us on social media and be sure to hit that subscribe button below.